Alright guys, welcome to another episode of the Lugards. It's your boy Dalu and Martin, who's back, brand new, brand new Dalu, brand new Martin, brand new setup.
How do you feel about it?
Shit, I don't know, it's cool. Wish I had some drinks on here. That's alright.
That's true.
What do you want to be drinking?
Julio.
I'll chill with wine for now, anything.
So no soap, no
red
tea.
wine. The soap can replace red wine, I guess.
Okay.
It's alright. Palm wine is very good.
Okay.
You know what? I'm definitely gonna have some palm wine today for a fact.
Can you even get like real genuine like palm wine here? I haven't had.
You could get an extremely fermented one. Wait, is
Can you
palm wine
really
the
do
same?
it?
Is palm wine the same thing as mead?
Mead.
You know
Describe
what
mead.
mead is?
No.
You should know what mead is. Mead is what like Odin, and
Pretty people.
no,
Who's mead? Spell it.
Ragnar and them mead.
Oh,
MEADS mead.
No, mead and palm wine are not the same thing.
Yeah.
Mead is a fermented honey drink, while palm wine is a fermented beverage made from the sap of palm trees.
Yeah, mead. That's what they use in that. Those they are.
That's what you drink in Valhalla.
Well, yeah, but you also like
You know when they drink when they do their skulls.
Yeah,
what
that's
it is.
stuff. It looks like.
They drink it from like a tusk of like a buffalo or something like that.
If you've played the
It's from a tusk of an animal.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla, they always have like these competitions amongst Vikings where who can drink the most mead.
Oh yeah.
You see you see it's up a tusk by the corner and it gauges how much mead you drank.
It's so funny though because they have an interesting way of looking at being fucked up. Like a nigga could be drunk as fuck, and that's when they think like he's entwined with the gods. Now he's drunk as fuck. But that only makes sense though. I mean, but honestly, maybe that's why if you look at Nigeria for example too, you say whenever you're drunk, they'll be like I'm high.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you're drunk.
Yeah. You didn't know that? Like in Nigeria, when you're drunk, they call it high. Everything is a high.
I did not.
Yeah,
know that.
that's true.
Would you consider it a type of high?
I would consider it type of high, but I didn't know that was the terminology that was often used back home.
I would say it's common.
How do you connect the whole spiritual awakening and
Because for the
and
Vikings, for
drinking,
example,
right? Yeah.
for the Vikings, for example, when they drink and you're drunk, they look at it as like you're in communication with the gods or something like that. That's when you can express certain kind of things, and I understand it as well too, because it's almost like for a lot of people, like when they're drunk, they tell you they don't know what they were doing. So
Like we didn't open some gates.
even if you go to let's look at our African churches, when you're in the spirit, they claim they don't know what they were doing, but they were in the spirit,
For when the Holy Ghost comes.
yeah, whatever they have.
I know, like allegedly, apparently, like they've used substances that will put you in that place, like
State of mind.
maybe plants that could make you put you in a
Oh my god!
state.
Oh my god!
That's kind of how they use.
What is it called in the Amazons? They have it.
What's it called again? Rituals. They will give you stuff that will put you in that
Induced.
induce the state of.
Oh my god!
Disillusion
I'm
and
so
confusion.
myself that.
That's how you communicate with the higher echelon of gods and stuff like that.
So what's the nugget there? What actually gets you to communicate? Is it because now you're delusional, or that you're not at a regular state of mind?
You're not regular to mind. All your faculties are impaired, literally. So, first of all, at the end of the day, anything that is out of normalcy, we do see that, not just Africans, humans in general, seem to see that as a state of, let's say, spirituality in a sense. So, you can't be normal and be spiritual. Does not make it. That's at odds with our belief.
So Jesus Christ is not normal.
Jesus Christ is not normal.
Okay.
I mean, what he was doing was not normal.
What do you mean it wasn't normal?
If he's performing miracles, raising people from the dead, that's not normal.
This is a controversial topic.
Not really. You can't. We don't.
I think
we don't see regular people as higher people. We don't really see regular people. If you have to be special, you have to
I think-
be special, you have to be different, you have to act different.
I think
You
your
have to-
theory is
You have to do things that normal people cannot do. What do we consider miracle? Look at all the examples. of
Jesus Christ is trying to tell people that like he is the way, the light, and if you follow him, so he's saying embody the way I am, so you can be. So he's telling you he's the norm. Whatever you're considering to be the norm is not norm. It's of this world.
Regular people were not going around healing people. That's what we attributed a lot of miracles.
Yeah, but that's what they're trying to tell you. I think you're still missing it. You not understanding, you not aligning things within you that is not following to understand that is the norm makes you of the world. That's what it's saying right there. Not yeah. That this is the norm. This is what the norm for a human should be.
Yes, that's what should be the norm. Be like Jesus. But how many people are like Jesus?
Okay, but you still now saying it's not the norm. It is the norm.
He's not the norm.
So there's a
He's
description of
far
normal
from
as
normal.
to what society is currently doing, and then there's a definition of normal as to what society should be doing.
Should be doing exactly.
exactly.
So
It,
describe.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the society. It doesn't matter what the society
what
is
should be
doing.
the norm.
Just define what normal means to you.
Normal means what you see everyday life. That's
Okay.
what normal is.
Okay. And Martin, what's normal to you?
Yes, normal is what you do in normal everyday life. The things that you carry out shouldn't mean that normal is not corrupted.
Okay, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a new angle. That's the further part of the discussion, that normal could be what we see, but what it should be now opens up a new angle. Do you believe that what
Of
normal
course.
should
So
be?
what I believe the society should be like is not what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's why that's what I feel.
That's what I'm saying. Your theory. See, when you describing a theory, you need to know what your roots, your pseudo is, and where you're going with your narrative. You cannot be in between those things to flip flop it. Like to your point, yes, normal is what we see on daily occasions.
Which is what I was describing.
Yes, but that is not normal because it's a corrupted norm. If
No,
you
no, 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 no. I can't. I might be making. I might be explaining something, talking about I'm talking about reality, as compared to what I believe should be. There's a clear difference what I think should be normal and what is normal. And I was describing normal as what the word normal means, as what we see every day.
So Martin, do you think
So-
acknowledging what you see every day and calling it normal is actually part of the problem as well?
yes, that's what I'm saying to him.
So we should not acknowledge the normalcy.
So I should be blind to what I see every day.
No, then
Well, no,
then you
understand where
get
it's
through
coming
there.
from. So maybe not blind, but
It's not.
what are you trying to say?
So to your point,
Mm-hmm.
to your point, let's say everybody lives in huts, but you know tsunami is coming. But you know, even like for example, all house, like the Bible is saying, everything should be built on solid rock so it could withstand the time and foundation. So just because now people are now building houses in front of the ocean, because we can, you know, the time period that we are
Or stand feeling because-
exactly, and all this kind of thing. Is that, would you now say because of that it's normal?
It's normal if everyone's doing it. Is it right? No.
Yeah, I mean, you're technically saying the same thing, is that, yes, we acknowledge that what's actually happening in the world is, by definition, the normalcy of it,
Yeah.
but we don't accept that it is that. It looks like you're coming from...
It's just like saying, it's just
how it
like,
should be
it's just like,
narrative.
yeah, exactly. It's just like saying, for example, because America has become the great country in the world now and is now like championing LGBTQ. Okay.
But
So,
that's normal.
yeah. So does that mean that when you go out, like, when you now speak to your child, should you not fully speak to the content that, okay, well, this is what America is standing for as norm, but you should remember. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Accepting it, I wouldn't accept it as what I want.
But when you make it the final of your statement is an exception.
No.
You're accepting of it. You're
No,
accepting.
it's not like how you make
when
a
you
child.
when you proclaim it, when you put
Acknowledge existence of racism, like if it's racism is a common thing.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
right?
you can
So,
say this happens, but this is not how.
that is because even the definition of racism
Yeah.
truly has already been tampered. Racism doesn't just automatically mean people hate each other. No, racism means people disassociating from each other because of the difference between their own things, which is nothing is wrong with that.
so are you saying that teaching your child about the societal definition of racism should not be done?
I'm saying when you're explaining anything, especially depending on who you're doing it with. If I'm just talking to a friend and I could care less what he does with his life, cool. But I'm saying if you're trying to address something for someone to understand where you're coming from or what you stand by, then you should explain your content fully, not just That should be your normal.
Fully.
That should be your normal, not just you to just normally advertise to what you think the norm is.
What do you think about? How do you think you communicated that? Do you think you accepted
First of all,
normalcy and didn't?
I was talking about Jesus. First of all, I don't even really believe in many of those things that they actually existed. But
That's a different conversation.
that's a different conversation. But first of all, when I was talking about him and miracles and whatnot, I was talking about the removal, as I was describing as someone who is removed from the norm. He was special. He was seen as someone who was capable of different things that others weren't capable of. Even though he was used as an example of what people should be like, as someone who you should behave like him, walk like him, act like him, treat people like him. But that wasn't how the Pharisees were doing it. That wasn't how a lot of people around him were. So
Right, so you're acknowledging the normalcy of not everyone being like him.
yes,
Do
But also trying to follow up to Martin's
Of course, yeah,
aspect.
Do you think you're being
Let me finish.
selective to the? It's just a simple question. Do you think you're being selective to your narrative of what you're choosing to be the norm of Christ?
do I think I'm being selective to my narrative?
Yeah, because it seemed like you're more focused on the miracles.
I was-
He
I was-
did so many things as a normal individual.
Well,
like-
our conversation was around miracles.
no, your conversation was
Spirituality.
your
It was
conversation.
about spirituality.
Spirituality.
That's what it was.
Yes, I was saying
Spirituality.
I give an
He
example.
gave an example using miracles.
Miracles.
So that was his own take towards spirituality.
So, spirituality, whenever human beings see something that is different from the physiological
So
aspect.
spirituality now is miracle.
No, not really.
So
not
it's an
really.
example.
Not an example.
That's what I'm saying. So
An example.
I think we should have the ability to listen. So what I'm saying to you is, again, you don't think you're selective about the description of what you're using to advertise Jesus Christ, because there's so many other things.
Why did you go with miracles as your idea of spirituality? Good question. So
Even at your level of spirituality, you're still wrong, because spirituality doesn't mean miracle.
yeah, well let's
That's
find out
not-
why you use that, right? And let's dig into that. Why
I use
why you chose that as an example,
I use an example.
of abnormalcy, right?
Because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
one of the easiest examples of things that are abnormal. A lot of times when you watch movies where they are demonstrating like some aspect of spirituality. You see when you have the cowries and everything, they're trying to like invoke a spirit or whatnot, all those very elaborate forms of juju or voodoo or whatnot. You always try to see people perform miracles. You see people perform miracles. Pastors, the showmanship, they always go towards miracles, healing people, bringing people off the dead, performing some kind of.
So you've used another worldly norm that is corrupt as a
Yes.
definition of norm again.
because that's what the norm. That's the norm.
But
That is the norm.
now to what you're doing, you're blasphemous of Christ.
It's not about just Christ. It's just about.
But that's who is the example. That's who is the example that
That's
you've thrown
one
on
of
the
my-
table.
One of my examples.
All right, but I'm saying you're being selective of your narrative.
So you feel like you should give better examples.
Yes, give the normal example. Let me ask you. Okay,
Is Christ not
let me
the
put you in a hard spot.
This Christ wasn't he known to perform miracles? Yes.
But he was bigger than his miracles. He
Okay.
said it in his own words that
Okay.
even that's why you see when he does his miracles are not for show. His miracles are for intimacy.
For intimacy.
Yes, he's done within his own, intimacy within his disciples, the people that he wants to truly see what he's trying to show them.
When he,
It's just like-
the 10,000 fishes and whatever. What's it called again?
The bread and fish
was
miracle.
not just in front of his disciples. When he healed
He did it.
The person. I'm not his
He
mind.
did it.
I'm not
You don't know what you're
What?
speaking on.
Was
He
not-
did
he's
it
not
within
performing
his
just
disciples.
in front of his
His disciples brought the basket. He did the miracle, and even not in front of all his disciples.
How many people were there when he multiplied?
I cannot tell you all the disciples.
There was a crowd.
You are wrong again.
There was a crowd. You can look it up.
There was a crowd.
There was a crowd. Factually.
He did not do the miracle in front of the crowd.
You didn't do the miracle.
He did it in
crowd.
the presence
You
of them, though.
didn't, no.
But it was their presence.
Yeah, but you didn't do it in front of them.
What do you think is for them?
He did the miracle, and the crowd got extra loaves and fish.
He
didn't do it in
did
front of
all his miracles
When he
in
turned water
intimacy.
into red,
Wine.
into wine.
Also away.
So
the
you
guests
said
in the
there
party
are no miracles
and extra wine.
where there were a crowd there. Are you trying to say?
Didn't
Is that
come
what you're
from-
trying to say?
no come
You have to confirm that because I'm pretty sure they even.
I am telling you. What do you mean it's not come from? I am
He's
telling you.
telling you that he has not
Like I am telling you, it wasn't done in front of a no crowd. It was done.
So wait, excuse me. With the fishes and the bread, it was within an enclosed space. Just the disciples were there. How do we know that?
doing something in front of someone.
I'm not saying he came out. He came out.
Okay.
But I'm saying they were there. Too.
Express.
I'm not saying that he didn't hide to do it.
Yes. Yes.
So what does that matter? What point? I'm not saying he's a showman, but he's still. Like, what's even the point of arguing that he's a showman or not?
You are
My
not
point is that he performed miracles.
listening. You are not
I don't know.
listening. You cannot just because you want your narrative to make sense.
So give me a wrap up. Give me a wrap up point
You
on this,
cannot.
Martin. So
You
that we
cannot.
can actually get into our episode.
The main point about this, all the miracles and whatnot on in the Bible, there's literally just showing Jesus having the ability to perform. While we read about it, we speak
Who
about
is
it.
telling you about
Martin,
it?
one second.
The Bible. It's
And
the
that's why
Bible.
you used
You get
miracles as your idea. of spirituality.
pastors use miracles to impress the crowd, show people the power of God.
And that's your
It's
definition of
very
normalcy,
important to them,
right?
Yeah.
And that's the definition of normalcy with spirituality. You connect it to miracles,
Okay.
right? So
What's the definition of normalcy?
you just use when they ask you about spirituality,
Uh-huh.
and ask you for normalcy.
Okay.
You use miracles.
It's miracles are
Yeah,
an
sure.
example of something that it's beyond normal. It's beyond normal. It's abnormal.
Got you.
Normal people can't perform miracles.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, exactly. And Martin, your finished points on that. You can talk about why you did not like that he used miracles, and then tie it out.
We don't have enough time for it. What I'm gonna address is when you're trying to say something, it don't matter what you're trying to, but the delivery of what you're trying to give is you gotta stay with the evidence of fact of what is being put in front of you. If you don't know, you ask so you can be given the fact, so it can be presented to you. It's as simple as Peter.
So everybody performs miracles.
So 1 second, let me finish.
Okay.
Peter, and I believe Matthew, were the one that called Jesus Christ. And then he told them, he used that because he's been preaching to them. And Judas is one of the people he wanted to learn of what was going in that moment. That money and certain things cannot solve the problem. So when he did that miracle, he did it. When you now hear testimony as to the fact that they are the one that spread the words to let people know, like, oh my God, where we had no food, this man was able to feed 10,000 people. When you're saying Jesus Christ performed miracle, you don't hear like it was this person. It was a testimony of Peter or Mary or Matthew or someone that was accounting to it.
Okay.
So
Now-
so therefore, using miracles as an idea for spirituality
Is wrong.
bastardized.
It's wrong because
Because-
Buddha is spiritual but didn't do any miracle.
Okay, wrap the point.
So what does that mean?
Right.
Muhammad might be spiritual and we don't know how many miracles. I don't think he did any miracle except for when he never did any miracle except for when
Is Buddha
Angel
normal?
Gabriel.
Is Buddha normal though? I gave an example of Jesus or
Buddha is-
someone spiritual.
Buddha
These are
is
people
normal.
who are not like normal.
Buddha was a
men.
prince.
Okay, a prince is not a normal person.
You're right.
The prince is not a normal person. These are not.
You're right. What is
these
this
are-
prince?
these are
What is
not-
the prince? An angel.
The prince has more
Anunnaki?
more wealth than a normal person. A prince is
So that's why.
So right, a
So
normal
you guys
person.
are now getting into normalcy discussions. That's
what I'm saying.
But that was the initial thing of my point was like spirituality. Usually people who are seen as like upper, like higher than the regular person.
Higher.
Some kings are seen as even gods.
All right.
Like these are people who are not in your regular some Dick and Harry like that walk around.
All right.
They're not seen that.
So
way,
how
like-
about
like
Muhammad?
what-
Go ahead.
what-
Give us something from Muhammad too.
Muhammad could perform feats. He could do things. He was
Like what?
Muhammad was not seen by most of the normal guy. They don't see him as a normal person. I think they're all normal.
So
I
what?
think-
So let me.
people don't see them as
Let-
normal people. There's a reason why.
So you are telling us what you see them as, but you are promoting another narrative.
By their
Did you
format,
see this?
I'm not
So what you truly believe, you won't champion it, but you promote what you think is of the world. It's interesting.
Well, I
you
think you
know-
should say that
wait.
he was championing something on it, right? Because he didn't finish his statement or fully give his thoughts. Might not mean
He
that-
just said he doesn't. He
So
thinks they're normal.
if I think Hitler was an idiot, does it mean that a lot of Jews did not, a lot of Germans did not still follow him to believe what he
Yeah,
believed?
you in your room.
Then I will have to ask you-
I can still believe Hitler wasn't shit.
Yeah,
But I can still be one.
I think he was a normal guy.
The fact that
The
a
world is
lot of Germans actually followed him. Does that mean that I followed him?
Yeah, because then we'll have to debunk you that you are wrong
What? What do you mean?
on your opinion.
On my opinion about what? About Hitler? Hitler is not someone that would like
so
to
yeah,
follow.
so let's close that out. We're gonna get into further conversations. Martin, so since you went the aspects of miracles being the normalcy of what is being used by spiritual leaders to showcase. Yeah, sorry, I was pointing at him. So for you, what would be an example for you, Martin?
You said Chidalo.
Yeah, I was using his points to then ask you a question. So, Shalu gives miracles, right, as one of his ideas or examples of how to show spiritual leaders showing spirituality. What would be an example of yours? Now, since you disagree with that, close us out with an example of yours.
Spirituality would be the same thing as let me say another level of consciousness as to spirituality. Spirituality would be the same thing as someone fully understanding science. It's the same thing. Someone fully understanding mathematics. It's the same thing. You can go to the highest level of it, the next level. That is what spirituality is.
Continuous
It's
progress, innovation.
how you can create a pathway, a room, a theory, a space for you and your supreme divinity, where you can intertwine and it can give you his message and all of those kind of things. That is what spirituality is all about. That is what Buddha.
Divine communication.
That is what Buddha was trying to attain. That is what Buddha attained when he could just be so connected that he doesn't need food. He could be in a position for days. That's what these monks try to attain. But Buddha was the one that took it to a level because in the messaging, they were expecting someone that would attain that kind of consciousness in that realm. So I feel like we need to be able to understand those kind of things, alignments. Like if I was permitted within the time, I wanted to ask him, give me in another realm, connect something else, give me in another space of consciousness, give me the same thing as spirituality, another synonym of spirituality in another space of context. Give me another thing.
I was going to ask you a question, actually, about Buddha. So
my questions don't get answered when I'm still,
You
when it's my
can't-
time,
You can't deflect the question.
Okay.
when it's my time to speak.
If you don't understand it, you be like, you don't understand
isn't
it.
an example of
Spirituality in another
Spirituality.
consciousness, yes.
when I think of spirituality, I also think of someone like you've watched Peaky Blinders, right?
Mm.
And Polly.
Mm.
She was seen as someone who was in tune with the spiritual world. Because apparently she could communicate, she was very wise, she could communicate with people of different realms, with dead people and whatnot. What religion was she practicing again?
I'll check that for you. Keep talking.
She's a what's it called? She's a
Can we continue?
She's a gypsy.
She's a gypsy, thank you. She was a gypsy. Another example of somebody who was seen to have attained.
And what do you know about gypsies?
Let's not dive too far.
Because it's not even answering my question, so I don't even understand.
Listen, he's answering your question.
You're already on the wrong frame.
How
You're
can
still
you tell
giving
him
me
that?
What do you mean? How can I tell him
Ask me a question.
that? I asked him a question.
Yeah.
I asked him a question.
He's still.
Can I speak, please?
Was she not deemed a spiritual person? Yes or no?
You're still on the space of spirituality. I'm saying give me spirituality in another space of consciousness. You're still talking about spirituality. You're still talking about I need you in another space or something. The same way I gave you an illustration of mathematics.
She believed she could communicate
If you didn't answer it,
with people, with other people.
So why waste our time when he's not answering my question?
She believed she could communicate with dead people, and to her, our spirituality.
You've left magic alone. Now you're going to communicating with dead people. I'm not okay. I
Is
don't
that-
care about that
is
space
that
no more.
not
Listen to my
spirituality?
question. My question is,
Maybe you understand.
give me in another space of consciousness. Leave spirituality alone. Give me another name of something that you say, oh, this is parallel to spirituality in another space of consciousness.
Okay.
That's what I'm asking you.
If you don't have an answer, it's fine.
It's fine, exactly. I'll tell you what I mean.
First of all, he compared someone attaining a high level of. So you think say a professor in physics, you think that's spirituality?
A good question.
Yes, but now give me the synonym of the spirituality. What is spirituality in that context?
I don't think there is. I don't believe someone being a professor in physics is synonymous with someone like Pastor Chris. I don't think they're the same.
Okay, so what's
I think I think in one aspect, they both delve deeper into one has delved deeper into physics,
Yeah,
and that one has delved deeper into spirituality. I think he's a charlatan, but that's another conversation.
what was the question? You had a question for me. What was your question? Go ahead.
Buddha, you mentioned Buddha there. So I felt Buddha was trying to attain a high level of consciousness.
Mhm.
So would you consider Buddha the regular cop like a shoemaker on the streets? Would you say Buddha was a normal person like that person? I didn't say
Same way as Buddha is not a cobbler on the streets, is the same way as that man is not Buddha.
so. But there are more people like that. So would you agree that there are Buddha on his own is special? There are
Yeah.
not. How many Buddhas were there?
Same way we don't have a lot of quantum physics engineers. It's the same thing. So what's your point?
Exactly. So the quantum physics professor and Buddha, they are not normal people. These are people that have excelled to a high level in their craft.
They're still normal people. They just attain a level of consciousness. So now a pastor is not a normal person, right?
So who are normal people to you versus otherwise, Martin?
Huh?
Who are normal people to you versus otherwise?
All of us are normal people. Except for people that show a level of stupidity and we know they're very stupid.
Yeah, let's move those guys. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So everyone's normal.
Everyone is normal.
Okay.
I mean, we're all human beings. But when I say
Normalcy to you is really
to me, when I mean someone has transcended normalcy is when you've earned a level of specialization, in whatever you do.
Like can I say this is professor or a great champ?
So that's a normal person to you.
That's someone
That's
as
abnormal.
advanced as you've advanced because you're special.
So
When it
now,
comes to people.
so when you now meet that kind of person, because they're so good at one space of consciousness and they don't know how to dialogue on other space of things, so what do you call that kind of person?
They are so good at one's consciousness. If I meet someone like Elon Musk today or something like that, what do you mean? I don't consider him normal. I think he's excellent.
That's because he can. That's because he can go into different spaces of things and dialogue. So now,
It's because of how well he's done in science. That's why I think he's special. He might be.
100%.
Yeah, that's why I think it's not because of his diversity in things. If he was not as innovative as he was and got to the level as he was, no matter how diverse he is, you might not know who he. I don't know how today.
okay, yeah, I know. I'm saying that, but I'm saying so when you now meet a person that all they know how to do is just talk about those kind of things, what they're good at. Oh, I'm good at economics, so I just talk about numbers all day, every day.
You know, they've excelled in it. They've reached like a level of excellence in it that has made them transcendent in a sense.
Mhm.
So
And you have an issue with that kind of person because.
That's because no, I don't have any issues with it. Please don't.
Oh, sorry, your
I don't-
thoughts on that kind of person.
I don't have. I'm just. He's. So I'm saying like, for you to be like out of this world, you have to have at least 5 levels of consciousness.
Can you listen?
Those are why people like truly why Christ is special, why Buddha. Like I would say, Jesus Christ is one of the first scientists I know. Because when you truly break down his words, like, you know, and all these things he's saying, you can take it to any field of space and challenge what he's speaking in any space of things. Moderation, when you go to when you go to chemistry, physics, you need it. Measurement, making sure everything that you're doing is accurate. Having faith in what you're doing to understand you can find the best results. So all of these things is what I'm trying to say. Like, so for me, Jesus Christ is not just like normal to, you know, like, or how, I don't know how he's trying to describe it, because I'm just saying those kind of things take you to a greater height when when you can talk to Christ, you even when he speaks, he will say like, when you listen to my message, he will touch different kind of people in so many different kind of ways because it's reaching so many levels of consciousness.
Anyway, I did say that Jesus Christ was above normal. That's what I said earlier. Maybe he was normal.
No, I mean,
Okay, quick close down on that one. Because yeah, we've gone 30 minutes, so it's been a proper conversation about spirituality. But just finish me up on the sentence. Just communicate your thoughts.
My thoughts are pretty simple. I think if you specialize in something and you're above what the regular person sees on the road, like back in the days, a lot of our DBs, let's say in Igbo land, they had great knowledge of herbs that could heal you, herbs that could make you sick, herbs that could increase your farm produce and whatnot. They were seen as spiritualists, they were seen as gods on earth in a sense. They felt they could communicate. They leveraged this and became the cultural gatekeepers in the community.
Okay.
That's an example of what I meant by people who have transcended normalcy. Yeah, some people leverage them and claim to be gods on earth over history, historically. They've been loved figures like that, who just because of how good they are and how special they were, probably because of they learned something that people didn't know. They were seen as gods amongst men.
And that to you is a high level of connect that spirituality or no?
It's some people connected that spirituality. They claim to be
A higher conscious.
higher than a regular man. Personally, I don't really believe that, honestly. The only way I think we are at the center, I actually personally think everybody's normal. That you learn something, you attain some kind
You're
of
just privy to some info.
Yes.
No, but I say open new gates.
I don't think you're really flying to a different stratosphere or whatever. I just think you knowledge, I believe, is power at the end of the day. So I understand how people see those kind of people as maybe gods on earth in a sense.
I like that. Martin?
the narrative is as simple. Even I'll take it to another, because I'm bored of this spirituality thing. Let's take it to another space of
Well, let's not unlock new combo. Let us just give
Let's
it
start.
a
Yeah. I'll take it to the space of countries. What makes it a first-class country? Could a country be great if all it knew was economics? I don't think that's what will make it a first world country regardless. It will need to be able to protect those economics. So a country will need military complex, good economics, able to diversify its culture, and you say maybe good government. So there are so many other things that might require these things to become a first-class country. So now let's take that to the space of spirituality. So if your God is only good at making rain come, that is a false God. All right? That's why because all that God will ever be able to do is make a rain come. So when all that atrocity comes, let's see how that works. It's almost like imagine your parents, your father, and then your son looks so high up to you, and then they're having so many fathers competition and challenges, and then your son gradually starts seeing how you falter when you don't know how to participate in the field of science, you don't know how to participate in the space of linguistics, you don't know how to participate in the space of mathematics, you don't know how to participate in the space of science or any other thing I might have mentioned. Then the son will start looking at the father like, oh wow, and I see this father doing it. It's just how those things appear.
So the level of spirituality you see as most important is actually diversity on the things that you
balancing several levels of consciousness.
Multiple consciousness versus us striving fully in one.
Yeah. So to the point of never mind. Yes.
Okay, cool. I like it.
Yeah, man.
Black parenting.
It's a bit chilly in here.
Yeah, but plus that through it. But anyways, well, I guess it's easier for me to say since I'm wearing a jacket and
Man's really not hot.
Wow. All right, discipline. We're talking black parenting today. Segment one.
Can I obstruct real quick, please?
Sure.
PT, I'm gonna call you right back, bro. I'm gonna call you. I'm recording, bro. Right? I'm gonna call you.
Was that Peter Obi? Tell him that next year, you know.
Did you guys see it?
Yeah, next day, you need to.
Udumodi Black told Peter Obi that if he does not give him a shout out on his album, that he's going to come for him.
Wait, what?
You know, say, from the group chat.
What does Peter Obi and the Black have to do
He
together?
said since he supported Peter Obi during his election campaign, that Obi it's not asking too much if Obi makes a record video and promoting his album.
What's with the Black smoking?
Smoking.
I mean, do you see some sense in what he's saying? Like,
Of course not.
it's interesting. Like, why? Like,
I think there are many ways to think about it. The fact that
First question.
Maybe
The
that-
album bang. The jam bang first. The first
I
question.
like the album.
Oh, the album banged first. Okay.
no, I'm
Next
not.
question.
I don't even. My question hasn't even gone towards the album. I'm just saying, what the fuck does Peter Obi have to do with you?
Why did he feel comfortable enough to do that?
That's what I'm saying. It's just weird. Like, it's just like I can imagine Jay-Z, calling Kamala Harris and be like, yo, you better like,
Just right.
like you better just do like what the fuck? We just do some things that we think is normal. Like, and people just like.
I don't think it's normal even in the space of Nigeria.
I swear. It's like what?
Like, bro, like, hopefully I want to see what comments people are saying. Like, I just want to see what people are saying. Like, people need to be letting you know, like, yo, you just lost the followership right now. Like,
Is he?
we need to start trading our followership like currency, like for real.
I mean, he did trigger a lot of dialogue, so maybe he did that for the program.
Something there. Black parents are often stricter than other races. Is this tough love, a survival mechanism, or a cycle of generational trauma? Are they stricter than other races? Is the first question. But anyway, go ahead.
Is it tough love? I think it's.
You could say none of the above.
I mean, I don't know about stricter than other races. Like, apparently, Chinese parents are quite strict. Well, let's just assume they are. Well, tough love, trauma. What was the other option you gave?
Survival mechanism.
I think a mixture of all of them. First of all, because they believe that they have things tougher than everybody else because of they're in the bottom of the bowl. So because of that, they feel life is hard, so they have to be tough on their kids. Because like guy, life is not easy for a black man out there. So I get. Then that now translates to trauma over time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Yeah, so I think it's a mixture of all of them. Maybe it starts with tough love because they feel like they have to, that's to survive. Then now releasing all that trauma on the younger generation, who then releases it on their own children, and that's how the cycle of trauma keeps going.
Mm.
So I think the mixture of all three.
Mm.
What was the fourth one? Was it the fourth one?
Just those three.
Okay. I definitely think it's all of them.
Mm. No fourth one comes to your mind that you wanted to share.
I mean, the ones who actually have parents are the lucky ones, I would say. Because a lot of them probably, many of them don't too as well. So many of them are actually left to fend for themselves.
Mm.
Yeah, because I have, okay, let's say with my dad didn't have a dad. So, first of all, the standards are non-existent initially. Then with me being present and being a provider and being that tough father figure in a sense, to him was a big upgrade from what he did not have. So, and that's a very common thing amongst a lot of like African parents, African dads at least. It's a very common thing where just being present, being able to provide for the family, that's enough. The sense of the emotional availability and whatnot. First of all, you've seen the conversation where talking about depression, blah 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 blah, is non-existent in a place like Nigeria. They will tell you, they find money, which one be depressed. So the standards of society also comes into play. Like it's very, very difficult to tell your African dad, dad, I can't go to school today. I'm depressed. How kind of conversation are you gonna have with him? You know what I'm saying? Like, get your ass up there and like go do your work. Like, it's not really a conversation. So that emotional part, as for the past generations, is almost non-existent. So being a man is about providing and protecting your family. That's the basics. So as long as they can provide that, what else? You know. So that, like, I give an example of the kind of standards he had,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of like informs what he provides for his own kids.
So the lack there of having a father, you felt like made him strict?
No, at least that's where his standards came from. You know what I'm saying? Like, the lack of availability, but him is an available father and he's able to provide. He provided for himself. So the least he can do is provide for his family.
Okay.
Yeah, so like, let's say for example now, if there's something I can let's say you can improve on, like if you had a dad who you felt would have been more emotionally available, then it's up to you to now do that for your own kids.
I hear you, but you might be answering a different question here. You might be answering what is better, right? Like what would be a better upbringing situation in a father versus the grandfather, for example. We're actually just talking more on strictness and the strength of parents that might now become a cost to mental health, or why black parents are stricter. That was the first question.
Yeah, but that it comes from the society generally.
Okay.
I kind of already answered that, to be honest. When I talked about the whole feeling oppressed as a race.
And that's why
You know, you have the mindset that you're releasing your child out there to the jungle, so you might as well toughen them up, so you're able to have the strength and wherewithal to face what's outside. That's probably where the mentality of having to be tough on them comes from.
Okay, Martin, what do you think?
About
Black parents are often stricter than other races. Is this tough love, a survival mechanism, or a cycle of generational trauma?
tough love to what? That would be a question I would need to ask. Like, tough love to what? Tough love for letting your tradition go, tough love for adopting a different religion, tough love for not understanding the religion, tough love for form of education that y'all never decided to play any role in impacting, tough love. And this is not criticism. This is, based off of all the questions. I'm just asking, So what is the tough love? So what's the other one?
Survival mechanism, which is technically what you were saying, preparing them for the world, or a cycle of generational trauma.
How can you be preparing people for a world that you did not create, the world that you're not in it, the world that you're not champions of it anymore? So, those are all things. I think I was started from what is parenting, What does a mother mean? What does a father mean? We have to know the definition of these things. And then when we know the definition of these things, we have criteria for them. We have understanding of what they're supposed to represent, within the demographic of a household. So when we know these things, then we can now start using the fundamental tools of what guides the parent. It goes back to what I was saying initially, as to a father that goes into a competition, and competition is about levels of consciousness, or different levels of IQ, be it history, be it science, be it all of these kind of things. So now these are a lot of things that we need to truly see a lot of African parents participate in. Actually, that's a game that we just patent right there. We need to see if it's true that all these words and verbs that we want to use for description, because you need to ask us, and then you need to be able to like you said, because you're saying African, so you need to diagnose the race as well. Are these people that are true to themselves? Are they truly critical of themselves? Do they enjoy self-criticism? Do they enjoy those kind of things? All of these things we need to put together before we even go on the journey of these things, to be able to see who we are talking about and what we are talking about.
Okay, so do you want to spend because the question I asked was about discipline, So do you want to spend, or everyone have their chance to actually talk about what they feel like a household is from an African perspective and your own experience? Because it looks like you guys both want to actually answer what these roles are, right? And talk about the family before we dive into patriotism and discipline. Because that's how you both answered the question.
Yeah,
So
because
do you want to dive into that first?
You did answer one thing that you added on there. I shouldn't make it long. One thing that you added on there was trauma. That is the best thing to describe everything an African parent. Trauma that has never been diagnosed. And I never thought I'd be saying this in a million years because, but I guess when you become westernized and, you deal with it.
I thought you was about to say, when you become a father, you was like, whoa, you didn't tell me that.
No, I'm not, and then we have to put that out there as well too, that I'm not a father. So, and why? Because I want to learn the true meaning of anything before I go. I want to know the pseudo of anything before I go into it. Because I've been plagued by so many kind of things. When you go into an African parent, are they highly spiritual? Are they highly educational? Are they highly critical? What is the structure? Because it's hard for you to see an African household that has up to 3 levels of consciousness within the family structure. So why is that lackluster happening? It's the trauma. It's the trauma of a bunch of people that have lost their ways. They have lost what they thought is right. When someone loses something that they've always thought about their life that is right, and then they're just going through, we have to be able to take the time to diagnose them. We just cannot think an African parent in 1960 is the same thing as a Caucasian parent in 1960. You have to be able to look at the time period. What is going on within those time spaces? Because globalization is part of African parenting now. You just cannot be negligent of all of these things. It's part of the thing. Now you have to ask an African parent, what is the one thing in the space of globalization? As we said, when you put a father through all these examples of things and see how we balance on it, you have to look at the whole scale of globalization. What is it that the African household is playing or has put out there for people to digest? Is it the Afrobeat that we are championing that our parents almost wanted to break majority of us away from it, saying that you cannot go into music? So what is it? What is it that is truly a legacy of parenting in African?
So good question, because you're bringing the whole trauma thing, right? We see that there are actually some positive wow. Got in. All right, discipline. We're talking black parenting today. Let's discuss that, right? Because what are your thoughts? Segment 1, because they have talked about the trauma and the issues, but sure, has that now shown up in positives?
I think bad times make great men. Bad times will kill most men, but the ones that survive and end up being great people at the end of the day. So, you can have a terrible childhood, very traumatic childhood, but it's also very, very possible that traumatic childhood is the reason you became the great man you are today. You get me? So, a lot of Africans or African parents might have had very traumatic childhood leading to leading to them becoming terrible parents. But this is not to say that all parents in Africa are terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think my parents are terrible, I'll be honest.
Of course you're not supposed to think that.
Some people do think their parents were terrible.
And they're not, yes, and they're not wrong for
And they're not wrong for thinking that.
Of course, but you're not supposed to think that your parents are terrible, except you have no other thing to show for it.
Yeah. Chances are, if you're a terrible person and you think your parents were great,
then they're
probably terrible.
Just
Well,
progress. I think you floated a great idea, merch. So think of 2 mugs, the Lugards logo.
If you survive a traumatic experience and you learn from it, you're supposed to come out stronger. Yeah, and
My parents.
Not how terrible your parents were. You probably have to think for it.
How do you define strength? Perseverance.
Ability to.
I guess it's easier for me to say.
Because there's a thing like offense, defense. You're a tennis player.
Yes.
So clearly offensive. Wow, strength play there. All right, discipline. We're talking black parenting today. Same type of strength.
You know, there's some
Segment one.
There's some times where like you meet someone going through like a difficult time. They will say stuff like, this is not my first rodeo. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I was able to survive like my childhood, like this is nothing to me.
Mm.
Like, you're asking in terms of maybe you go through like, let's say football, you survive like a series of attacks.
Does that make you a better survivor? Or does that make you...
makes you a better survivor, but then it sets you up for a great counter attack. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you've been able to take all that heat, you've taken all that heat, now you have a lot of ammo that you've received to give back.
So what's a good example from a Nigerian parent perspective in that way?
So, honestly, the people I see that haven't survived, have you heard stories about a lot of people that grew up as house girls or house boys, and they grew up becoming like CEOs and whatnot? A lot of them be having very traumatic experiences. Being a house boy in Nigeria is no joke. That's on that slavery that people don't talk about that much, actually. You see a lot of them survive this shit. Even maybe being stories of them being raped or being like assaulted, and it being seen as, let's go back to the word normal back then. And like, personally, I don't think they ever really survive it, but they learn to live with all that trauma and then turn it into a source of strength in order to be able to go through whatever rigors they face in the quote unquote real world when they grow up.
That's the positive you've seen.
That is a positive, because you could draw from all that and you could turn that into a strength in order for you to. So if at the end of the day, like, the real world is not beads. You in your home, your parents might be terrible or whatnot, or your organs and mother might be terrible or whatnot, but they pretend to care. They'll still give you food. You still eat free food. You will still sleep sometimes.
You speak like a man with bills.
No, you will still chop free food. Yeah, they might beat you, they might traumatize you, but then if you get through that, I don't know. I don't see anything else I can.
Where's the opportunity that you saw for them to be able to come up this thing that they're saying?
No, I agree with you. Most of them never survive it. There's no opportunity. Most of them don't get through it. But I'm saying the ones that do get through it, that do survive all those things.
Where is still the opportunity? Where did you see the crack up? Where were they learning science, physics, something that helped them become? Where?
No, this.
That's the person that went to go and do Kayama.
This scenario I'm painting, honestly.
But then you do believe in miracles, so then again.
I do believe. You said believe in miracles?
Yeah.
I believe in miracles.
Yeah.
Did I ever claim to believe?
That's not good, brother.
Okay, man. Well, I genuinely don't see how you survive all these things. But like,
I'm not even talking about survival. You say that go ahead and make it.
Because it looks like you're saying the suffering is actually a great ingredient for success.
Honestly, I know people that hustle. Like, a lot of them, their stories from their upbringing difficult. Like, and if they tell me what they went through, I'm like, wow, I can see how they're able to pull this off right now.
Yeah, it's a good parameter to be able to test.
Yeah, like just my own father's story. My father's upbringing was tough. It was during the Civil War as well. The guy was having to hustle, go out, like sell medicine, sell drugs to soldiers. Usually fend for his entire family because his dad died when he was younger. So if he was able to survive that, then surviving the rigors of like chasing his PhD, blah 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 blah. That's my Nigeria. Trying to get a PhD in Nigeria. Also my mess up like a small person or someone who does not have the money to pay professors and whatnot. But he was able to pull it off and still do what he needed to do. You get like kind of the stories of Nigerians who go to Nigeria and come here and they're able to like dug it out and thrive and succeed. Like you get one kind of stuff you go through, then just regular stress not gonna bother you anymore. Basically. So if you have a traumatic childhood, traumatic upbringing, I think it makes you stronger. If you do get an opportunity. But like I agree with you, those opportunities might be quite few or far between in the environment like say our country.
Well, that's the next case discussion. But we can tie it back. You know, Martin, what do you think trauma really brings for its positivity for African parents? and black parents?
I would think is what is brought like is a scavenger appetite, like always seeking for the next thing to help you become validated. So that's why you see a lot of us whenever Jakba, all these things that we talk about. So we use them, you know. I guess that's what it is. It's, you know, I mean, what else can if you look through any period of time or history, you know, when you have people that haven't truly found their own champion and do everything that needs to come about a unification of a race and a group of people. Yeah, scavenger would be like the best thing, like, you know, looking for the best opportunity, looking for the best resources, looking for the best place where you can find any of those things. So,
Can a scavenger be successful?
depending on your definition of success, we have to be very careful
Good answer.
as to those things. I always make sure if I'm not going to be having enough time to express myself, then I don't answer questions like that. Because, like to you, like yo, you would say the definition of success is as long as you can reach the highest level of it. That's the definition of success. So, but to me, success is where you place it for what it champions. What does success always create something? When America has success in the atomic creation, atomic bomb, what did they create? Deterrence. Created the success, gave them the war power. So, but for us African, you know, we are really scavengers with our thoughts. Like if you look at how we behave, you know, it's why you would take someone else's religion, never truly understand it. But the best thing you can do is when you have a child, is introduce your child to that space. Something that you haven't learned, you haven't really thought, but you just know it's a wave, it's a good thing, it's where they're supposed to go, and you just put them into it. You're not the first teacher in your household. All you know how to do for your kids is give an invitation for them. Oh yeah, go learn from there. Go learn from this. Go learn. But at least to some African, to us, part of one of our drive to the things that we've learned from this trauma is at least, you know, even the parents do want to feel among to a certain extent. I don't know if we can say like, you know, we can say about 80%. If we can say that, that would be interesting. This is just a thing I'm putting out there as a census that we can actually carry out to see if it's true. Like how many parents in the African or Black community can actually teach their kids in any basic fundamental space of anything, history, mathematics, anything. Which one of them are still playing those roles in their kid's life before they just let go? But you will see the Africans and the Black people will tell you they are the most Christian.
Right.
They will tell you that. Even look at this for another example. Anywhere, who are the Jews? Africans want to be the Jews. Why do you want to be the Jews? Why? Like, but it's good space. You see the Jews, they take their community seriously. They are very, very protective of it. Everything that needs to be done about it, they do it. Africans love that kind of thing. Will they create it? No, they just want to scavenge into it.
So the positive it brought, you're saying is not even a positive.
No. I never said scavenging is a negative thing.
Okay.
So now to him, when he was saying earlier about what is norm for people, now it could be your norm because we don't truly have any philosophy that has, like I said, we don't have our champion that showed us otherwise. So now that could be our norm. That could be truly be our norm. But in my spirit, that should never be our norm. We have to have someone that is our champion. The same way you see the Arabs, the Persians, they could have Muhammad. The same way certain Jews can still have Jesus Christ, and the Catholic and Caucasians can draw into it. The same way the Jews have Abraham, Moses, all of these things. What do we have in any space of anything? Go back and just look at it. But what do we love to do? Scavenge and find any? I bet you very, very soon, Black people will find a way to say they are descendants of Alexander the Great.
I like it. Okay. That segues nicely to segment two, patriotism. All right. The first question I feel like we've already touched on briefly: do Black and African parents deliberately teach patriotism, or is it left out to schools or the media? How many kids know about Obasanjo, Babangida, Sarawiwa? I think we've talked about that. But I like the second question: if parents don't challenge the system, are they unknowingly raising children who accept corruption and inefficiency as normal? Is a word that we've destroyed today.
If parents don't challenge the
If
system.
parents don't challenge the system, are they unwillingly raising children who accept corruption and inefficiency as normal?
I agree.
So they're preparing you for the world. I guess that is also not challenging the world, right? That is preparing you to scavenge in the world. Is that
The funny thing I would say is that I'll use Nigeria for example, because that's where I'm more aware about, at least in terms of raising kids. We have had because I keep hearing people talk about like, why not gonna criticize your politician? We do have a culture of voicing out our displeasures with the government, but not actually acting, not actually doing our own part. I grew up hearing parents, teachers, every adult around me
And why do you think that is?
complaining.
Why do you think that is?
Let me finish. Complain about the government and whatnot, but you still see them maybe take bribes, maybe throw the biscuit wrap on the floor, like not really do their part as law-abiding citizens, or at least not be as corrupt as the government they keep accusing of corruption. It's funny because like they don't necessarily realize that these leaders are literally grew up in similar households as they did. So it's a never ending cycle. Like we live in a culture, we live a culture and practice a lifestyle that we keep voicing out and keep making fun of and start acting like we're not a part of it, which is very, very funny. So why do I think that is?
Mhm.
I don't know if that question actually.
I guess you weren't listening to my soliloquy that I was given. That's why.
It's talking about
Because
we
it's
don't really have
I'll answer it real
our
quick.
own.
It's because all we have ever done, train up your child in the way that you should grow. When he grows, he will not depart from it. All we've ever been taught how to truly do is being invited to a space. We don't know how to champion the space. Like you said, we know how to go give our bad politics. Let's come together, protest, find our lawyers, come together, draw the amendments of what we want, what we are truly fighting for, so the government can hear us and come together. No, like I said, all we've just been taught how to do is, so you see politics, right? Bad government. So you just come here.
No, I don't disagree in the sense that,
Tell me otherwise. The
I
theory is
don't-
right. We are right in the right
I don't
thing.
disagree in the sense that like most of everything we practice, the religion we practice, the politics we practice, we are literally brought to us, and without actually understanding or learning how to properly practice it to our own benefits. We are doing it. Literally, we first of all from the get go, I think we've been doing it wrong. But I think most of us we do everything for the individual. I don't know if we actually produce genuinely selfless people who put the country first. So at the end of the day,
Like how you say,
I don't know.
what do you think is the greatest highlight of African situation right now? Like, put a marker on what do you think would have solved the African problem? What do you think would have solved that?
I would like to say, if we actually mastered ourselves first before letting go initially. But
I'll give you a simple answer to it.
let him finish first?
But at the end of the day, like you can't rewrite history. I think the only way forward is to literally keep moving forward right now. Like invest in the youth, education and whatnot. In terms of, I don't know, really. I can't give you an answer. I can actually see each one, if I'm being honest.
Martin, give us that bar.
It's just simple. It's parenting.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the answer. The
That's
reason
the
why
answer.
the reason why Africa is the way it is parenting. It's just that simple. Don't forget the same people that are your governors, your presidents right now, your senators, and all of them. You have people in your family that are their age mates. It's a testimony to a time. It's a testimony to a generation.
Well, how can you influence like parents really? Because you're at the end of the day, like a goat will only raise a goat. Will you can you change the goat's mechanisms or like how would you really do we start making people take exams before they give birth to kids? Maybe before you can have a child, you have to need to pass this IQ test.
Are you asking me? I mean, we are going to be a product of a generation just the same way
Yeah.
the people that govern Nigeria now are a product of a generation.
Okay.
So you have to, it's not you asking me, it's you asking yourself, what do you want to do to make it different? That's all the message that has to be spread across the board. That's all it is.
I hope I make a difference. I know I'll make a difference. My parents, I believe, made a difference. They tried to make a difference in their own power, but at the end of the day, I think it's a numbers game. There's still a lot of people out there talking about people getting their apprentices stolen in marketplaces. For example, Nigeria, they still make up probably like 80% of the population. So do we have to wait till maybe the society has
Enough numbers, I want to pay for the grade.
enough numbers or enough maybe more balanced population where there are maybe 50% idiots and 50% intelligent people?
I mean, obviously,
That will take a long
progress through
time.
numbers.
That will take a very, very
Yeah,
long time.
change always takes time.
Because at the end of the day, parenting is, I agree, for any society, any messed up society, you can always point to parenting being the biggest problem. Because it all starts from there. Everything starts from home. Your president, your senator, they all grew up in a Nigerian home. So,
Final question in the segment. Should parents encourage their children to see Nigeria as a land of opportunity, or is that dishonest when the system doesn't support them?
I think they should. I think it all starts from the mind. If your parents don't believe, how will the kids believe?
Yeah, so you think it's worth it and it's okay in a scenario that maybe goes south, where a parent was not, like you mentioned in the beginning of this podcast, prepare them to take on the world, whether it might be from a scavenging perspective to then better themselves, and then end up like a Sarawiwa. I think that's also okay.
I think the reason we have a scavenger mindset, like he said, my opinion, is because we hate ourselves. I think black people hate themselves generally without even knowing it. We don't see ourselves as being everything is outside. Like the way the Western people dress, the way they act, and okay, let's say we try to be like them. We copy everything. We copy their religion. We copy their dressing. We copy their hairstyles. Girls buy wigs that are straight like theirs. Like subconsciously, we don't really. Nigerians, for example, don't really like Nigeria. Do they really? They always make decisions that hurt Nigeria just for the next paycheck, and then complain about Nigeria being bad. So they're not able to like, okay, instead of eating 3 times a day, let's eat one so that we can build this. No Nigerian will do that.
So how do you tie that back to answering the question on if they should tell their child that
We all
Nigeria
start.
is a land of opportunity?
We all start from there. They don't see Nigeria as a land. They see Nigeria as a stepping stone to leave.
So if they did do that, they'd be lying. That's what you're saying.
The reason Nigeria is not a land of opportunity is because most Nigerians, the sum total, all believe Nigeria is not a land of opportunity. That is why it's not a land of opportunity. So I think if there is a complete mindset change and we actually try to build our country instead of stealing from the country.
Yeah. So what would you? So
Something-
let's bring it back to you.
No,
You have a
I
child.
said yes.
Your own son and your own daughter.
Yes, I will call Nigeria home. and I would try to showcase the opportunities in Nigeria.
Okay, even if that could be a detriment to that first crop of people who take losses.
I think there are opportunities in Nigeria, even as I am now. Though. I want to be able to invest in Nigeria.
Yeah, but let's be realistic here. That advice is almost saying that if I advise you to do that, everybody who takes Nigeria as an opportunity will also be able to make a difference. That's what you're saying.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I believe
Everybody
make a difference.
will get a chance to make it.
Yes, Nigeria is literally America is almost complete. It has everything working. Nigeria that's like opportunity. There's nothing working. Everything is you can build things there. There's so many things to be able to build there if you have the resources and the power and the intellect. It is an opportunity.
Therefore, and every parent should encourage because you can be successful by looking at Nigeria as a lot of opportunity.
It literally is. Because it's underdeveloped.
Nigerians in Nigeria think of that. Martin,
What's the question?
should parents encourage their children to see Nigeria as a lot of opportunity, or is that dishonest when the system does not support them?
Should parents? What parents? You know, I don't know which parents you're trying to address. You know, but I mean, when you're born of a land, when you're born of a space, you should always represent that's your identity. Now, language and all these things has caused the cancer that we are, because I say this all the time, like even to my Black American friends, y'all just speak English, y'all don't even know what the hell you're speaking. So we don't even have a language that upholds us to any kind of integrity in the first place. So, because what you're talking about is patriotism, and we have another word for someone that is not patriot, it's treasonous. So, do we even use treason? Do we understand what it is? Has it been upheld? Is there ever anything in your life that you've done as we've grown up? Oh, I'm asking all of you right now. Is there anything you've done in your life that you felt so connected to, you felt so intertwined with, that when you broke that thing, you felt treason in your heart, true treason? What are we talking about? You know? We need to ask. So that's what I'm saying. I'm confused. I don't even know what generation you're speaking to. Like,
Answer on all generations. Answer about the higher, our current, and the well, that book could be mad to read. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
I don't know. Well, in that case though, for either any generation though, if you're not thinking, if these things that we just spoke about has never been in your foundation, you're not fit to call yourself a Nigerian. The ones that love the country enough, when the time comes, we should take away that privilege away from you for you to be called Nigerian. Because what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Like,
interesting. Because like if a Nigerian tells you, bro, I'm thinking of survival, what are you talking to me about? What would you tell them?
yes, I'll be quiet, but I'll remember the face and I'll remember the name.
To give me a name.
Like, what are we talking about? What the fuck are we talking about? 280 million people. Like, some of them are not worth to be Nigerian. Like, what are we talking about? If you don't start upholding where you come from, you are nothing. Like, now to the point of scavenger. If you are because I'm not putting negative or positive on being a scavenger. I'm just saying you're a scavenger. Now imagine a scavenger with no home. What are you scavenging for? Where are you scavenging to? So we need to ask ourselves, which more of these things are we born into?
That's good points.
And
Yes, sir.
do a self. And that's why I said in the beginning of my analysis, was soliloquy that I was given, when I said, what is a group of people that have not even, identified with the land of where they come from? But anyways, I have to say this because I was at work one day and I met this man. He's in the military. And I don't even know how we started talking, and our conversation got real deep. And we went straight from, spirituality, nationality, patriotism, and all this kind of stuff. And this man is from, I have to say, his name is Juan. He's from Brazil. And so we started talking anyways, and he asked me where am I from. So I said I'm Nigerian. He said he said his great grandmother is Nigerian. Listen to this. His great grandmother is Nigerian. And then the next thing he said to me, because I looked at him like, what the fuck? He could see it in my face. The next thing he said is, "Omo, finding me in my language." This thing is Brazilian. And so I just started feeling energy, like I was feeling, to your point, spirituality, but I just started feeling energy, like, oh wow, I feel this man, I feel some keenness to this man, like, and then we started talking more about so many things. I was like, and then we got into the point of like, we're talking about like, what is this whole analysis of Africa? It was like, oh, Africa is cursed. And I said, so tell me why you say that, because I have my own theory in my own head too, that I know, because I discussed this thing with my mother, and I'm like, we are dealing with a curse, we don't even know it. And he said that's because the people that champion the spirit, the people that still champion the tradition, have moved away from the land, and like they have called on the spirit of the land to go on this journey with them. And I totally agree with him. And I completely, because that was the theory. I've never met this man, but that's a theory that I've been working out in my own head as well too. And you know what this man ended up, he went on ahead and did? And he recited Ifa incantation to me. This is something I don't even know. I'm a Yoruba man. Like, so this man has been taking his heritage seriously than most Yoruba. He has lost this, but he's more Yoruba than I could ever be. Well, not more than me, because, my God, I gave him his run for his money. But, by God, I was touched. And like, I was like, so I was telling him, because this is a conversation I have with my mother, and I was telling him like, this is energy, right? He said he knows, like he can feel it, like all this that's happening right now is supposed to happen. And I was telling him like, yes, because I've always told my mom that when I have the opportunity to go back to Nigeria and just, spend some more time, I'm going to practice if I'm going to take it seriously, the same way I've taken Christianity seriously, the same way I've taken Buddhism seriously, the same way I give respect to Muhammad, the same way I give respect to Shiva. All of these people, all of these, spaces of spirituality. And here we are, the people that share the people that think they're the kinfolk because they share the color, is all scavenging to break the record of some other space where they have no true heritage. It's interesting.
That's a real last conversation with him. I'd actually want to hear more of that off camera. I know that.
Yeah, it was powerful.
What does a patriotic Black or African parent look like? Is it someone who teaches their kids national pride, or someone who encourages them to strive for a better life elsewhere? I think this one I want to just more have you all discuss the whole concept of what's a week. Because I saw lots of things on Twitter when the Babangida book came out. Like, damn, no one is talking about it from our parents' generation. Nobody's like, this is wild, right? Do you think there's a sense of apathy that was passed down?
No one's talking about it from our parent generation.
And, calling for the book, no one criticized it.
Are they on our parent generation too then?
Well, I guess maybe some people just two or three people talk. Maybe the fact that they are not talking in spaces. Maybe not Twitter, just general spaces.
They were mad about it. I wonder if they are bare parlors, not on social media.
Fair enough. So maybe you don't think that our parents passed down any form of apathy to us. Do you think they did?
Okay, I wish to say our parents were now mad at the state of Nigeria, because base believe they were, just they didn't do anything about it.
Right, so apathy is what's the meaning of apathy, right? Lack of concern.
They just not caring.
Yes. So do you think that that gets passed down somehow. It's not that that's happening.
Do you think?
Something else.
Do you think that our generation actually cared?
Questions it.
Do you think that we
Yeah.
actually cared?
What do you think? Do you think we're different from our parents?
Now, listen, like, are we that different from our parents? Like, this is the
I
generation
don't,
of
I don't,
Nigerians.
how can you be so different from, how can you be different? We already addressed that. No, we're not so different.
Thank you. I don't think there's any difference. So, to your question, did they pass it down to us? Yes, they did. It's this exact same thing. They were they
The
voiced
apple doesn't
their
fall too
opinion.
far from the tree.
They protested. It's so funny when like this generation acts like protesting is a new thing. I'm like, bro, did these guys know almost stop a plane during the whole Abiola thing? What's that different? How's that different from NSAS? Like, same thing. Like, it's, I don't know. Yeah, we've always known how to make noise. So I would say, to talk. Black people everywhere, we know how to talk. Now it's complain, we know how to protest. We've always since the slavery, since the colonization, when the British came down here, we protested against the what's it called, the colonial government, but they still came, sat their ass down and left when they wanted to leave. It's not different. We've always protested and expressed discontent. Just that we've never really acted. At least not.
We've protested, but we've never executed.
Yeah, we've never really executed or acted upon our protest. We've always complained. That's what we've done.
Better word for it.
So, so to your question, I guess yes.
Got passed down. The lack of willpower.
Yeah. So
I mean, let me give more body to what he's
I want
saying.
us to be a bit empathetic too, Sha. Continue.
Let me give a body to what he's saying, right? So let's just not use Nigeria as the worst basket, the egg basket there, but let's go to Ghana. Let's go to Kwame Nkrumah. If truly, like you're saying, empathy has been put in us, let's use that as an evidence. Kwame Nkrumah exhibited personalities like Jesus Christ. The man. Never, everything he owned, he gave to the country, he gave to the land. If true to what you're asking us is true, how many kids do you know Kwame Nkrumah has?
Great question.
If empathy has been passed on to us, right? Kwame Nkrumah, if empathy, let's forget his kids because we're going the fast stretch. Now that the kid is to address our generation, if we're not the same thing as our folks, right? As to the thing that you're saying. Now to the old folk generation.
I say it could even be worse.
Who's championing Kwame Nkrumah? A man. This I don't even know where to start with. You know what I'm trying to say? I don't even know. I don't know where to begin to start reading his accolades to you, without almost, Jesus Christ saying, "Yo, are you still my dog or not?" Like, you know what I'm saying? Like because sometimes you
Get the loop.
yeah, you don't want to ruffle feathers of, I know I built my own hierarchy. I know how it stands. So don't let me disrespect it. But Kwame Nkrumah is a top dog in my hierarchy. So I have championed Kwame Nkrumah more than what are we talking about? We are apples that didn't fall so far from the tree, my brother. We didn't fall. We are right by the root. What are you telling me?
I hear you, Sha. But I'm just thinking, if we saw war, we saw that, yeah, we would be just like, we are just like them.
Please. I don't want to just say this as a farce. I need people to, if you ever watch this, look up Kwame Nkrumah so we can see what we are talking about.
So you're saying that we might even be worse than them.
They might be worse than us, is what I'm telling you. Because Kwame Nkrumah actually is their people. So I'm a Nigerian that's even championing Kwame Nkrumah more than most Ghanaians.
So you're saying the concrete generation, at least you're saying they were.
Kwame Nkrumah's generation is
they are
some
better
generation
than
in our
the-
family
than
too.
the
We all
younger
have.
generation. You're saying the younger Ghanaians.
Interesting question.
I might actually be worse than those ones, based on what.
Yeah, either way, so the way he posed it, I gave example to fit each narrative. Like our generation ain't talking about Kwame Nkrumah. Even to the Ghanaians, let's go face the Ghanaians now. How many people do we know in their podcasting space that's talking about Kwame Nkrumah? How many people has taken a time out of their podcast to dedicate it to what a legend Kwame Nkrumah is? So that thing that you're saying, that is it passed on down to us? We missed it too. Someone cut the root connection over there because it did not empathy, African empathy
So how come apathy gets passed down easier than empathy? Why is that the lack of caring gets passed down easier than caring?
Because see, the same way
It's what?
the same way it's easier to for me to return an insult as opposed to returning a good favor. If you insult me, I will give you back. But if you help me, I'll start have to think of I have to give this guy back something nice. So, see, I think it's human nature first of all. Like,
Oh, you think it's just innate in humans?
yeah, bro. Before human beings, it's easier to learn bad things than learn good things. At the end of the day, we learn insults first faster than we learn good words in languages. Till today, I still know what point that means. I don't know anything else. So empathy takes more work. It's easier. Apathy is easier. Apathy is just not caring. It's easier for me not to care than to care. It takes more work to care because you have to put a lot of effort into it. Apathy, no effort. I'll just keep short, keep mute.
I go against that. Maybe truly I am
Jesus.
I am a student of Christ. It's easier for me to love, it's harder for me to war.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I'm ready to war, that's all my thought is. I'm consumed by it. That like
Okay.
now it's time. So it's easier for me to love. It's easier for me to see you and say good morning. It's easier for me to see you and give if I have. It's easier for me. I don't know.
What is different? I think you said apathy, that is not caring at all. That actually showing care.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's easier for me to show it than to
So easier for you to show care than to just ignore.
yeah. Like
that's a good thing I would
because for me, like if I come with fire first, then I have to do more to show you love. So why don't I just show you the love so that way we are balanced?
I
Then the
believe-
war for me is
Yeah.
whichever way you want to go.
I believe if most of the world found it easier to show care, the world would be a much more beautiful place than it is today.
I learned something today.
Education is our final segment.
Okay.
When choosing a school, do black parents prioritize academic safety or cultural representation? Or is it just where I can afford? Like, when choosing a school,
do they think about
do they
it?
prioritize academic safety or cultural representation?
Do parents prioritize academic, comma, safety, comma,
cultural representation.
cultural representation when picking a school?
Mm-hmm. So you can use yourself as an example.
Uh,
Maybe when you eventually have your baby girl.
No, my parents definitely prioritized academia first. I mean, first of all, I feel like if a school is if a school has a history of showing academic excellence, chances are they'll probably be safe. I believe so. Chances of them will probably be safe. And what was the third one?
Well, so think about this. If you're talking from a black person's perspective and you're being sent to a purely white Ivy school,
Yeah, chances are.
should we look at how that might look like in terms of safety?
So what do you mean by safety? Because if you're
I mean,
if,
whatever
you're,
safety
if you're going to an Ivy school, you're not gonna chances of you getting killed is less, I would presume. Because
Well, but now you're looking at it as just physical safety, right? But mental.
mental safety.
Could I be mentally oppressed?
I
Right?
guarantee you that most African parents are not really thinking. There's no in Nigeria, at least in Nigeria, I don't think we're thinking about their mental health and whatnot. They are thinking more about academics. How good is the school?
Academia.
And then safety. Will they get kidnapped by Boko Haram? Even I presume in America as well. Are they more exposed to gun violence, this and that? But I'm pretty sure if most people could afford it, they'll probably take their child to schools where they are guaranteed safety and academic excellence. I think they'll probably top two. What was the third one again?
Cultural
Cultural
representation.
representation.
What does that even mean to you?
Yeah, that would mean the school that the kid can relate to from a cultural perspective. A school that they will go to and they feel they are represented. Like I'll go to school, I know maybe when they're having cultural day, you see those that represent Igbo people there and whatnot. A school that acknowledges my cultural heritage.
Hmm.
You get, as opposed to going to a school where you feel different, you know. That's a good thing to think about. I don't really think most parents think about that per se, but it's less of an issue if you're going to like if you're schooling in an all black country where it's like Nigeria.
Hmm.
Of course, you know I'm Igbo, so amongst the three major tribes. Maybe it's more of an issue for the smaller tribes. You get, but for the bigger tribes, that's not really. Any big school you go to, it will be key like to Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa for sure. So you're represented there. So I'll say in Africa or in Nigeria, that's not a problem. So it's mostly about academia, safety. Yeah, that'll be it.
So they do your kind of answer.
Yes, of course.
And for your personal experience.
From my personal experience, I would believe most parents in our grade level, in our level, will probably care about their child's safety in school, and how good the school is. Because I remember when my mom was looking for a secondary school for me, it was the schools that performed best in WAEC and JAM and whatnot. Yeah, that's how we ended up at Air Force. So, I don't know if they talk much about my emotional health.
If there's something you add to that list of
physical safety. We have to make a demarcation. So academia, physical safety and emotional safety, then cultural presentation. Yeah, I would say at least in Nigeria, they mostly cared about academics and physical safety. Yeah.
Is there something else that add to that list?
Emotional, I already said my.
That's what you would add.
Yeah, that's what I add. Emotional. You have to separate care because safety physically is a very important thing. Then emotional safety, that's one thing. I don't even think. Will I really care about
Emotional safety from who? From where?
Like you talked about like maybe bullying, maybe feeling left out, different. Like the parents actually care about that.
The parents worry about that?
I don't
In African schooling?
No, I don't think so. It's mostly physical safety. It's Boko Haram going to break into school.
Were you bullied in school?
Yeah.
Huh?
Were you bullied in school?
Was I bullied in school? Of course. I went to Air Force. Every seniority was.
Do we know what bullying is?
I didn't even call it
Yeah, we didn't call it bullying. We just know it was the norm. Like,
I knew when I became a senior in my own son, I have juniors.
exactly. It was the language.
It was way of showing that like you've leveled up in a sense. So you had people, you had minions.
Exactly. That's the way of measuring our hierarchy.
Exactly. It was a hierarchical thing. It wasn't. We didn't see that bullying because bullying would be to me. What I saw bullying is like I'm in class, like my age mates will come and start trying to like lord over me. That's what I saw bullying. But like
there was bullying going on, but I'm just saying but we are not accustomed to look at it.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, but
like it's one of the ways of breaking yourself from being a soft boy and all that.
You know what I was bullying? Watching Everybody Hates Chris and that white boy bullying that black bullying Chris. That's what I saw as bullying. I didn't really think of what I was experiencing in the Air Force as bullying. You get like a senior telling me to fetch water or whatever it is that bullying, just as him being my superior. That's it. But I
what would you change for your child? Would those 5 things be the same? Academia, like if you could rank them. And Martin will go next.
Maybe in this case, in my own case, maybe the apple not fall that far from the tree because academically, I would like to send my child to a school with that I believe he wouldn't, that would be in line with what I believe is important in terms of like critical thinking, how important they raise like even like sports. Because that was one thing like on Nigerian school, they didn't really pay that much attention to the sports part.
What is your ranking? Academia first, then sport next.
Academia first and foremost.
Okay.
And also they should be. I love my child to be involved in sports as well. You know.
Extracurricular too.
Yeah, and safety.
3.
Actually, safety might be number 1. Safety is number 1. Safety. No, but then again, I believe I will live in a place where safety won't be much of an issue. You know what I'm saying, yeah. So, safety. In terms of emotional safety, I have hoped to have done a good enough job where my child is completely confident in who they are as a person. That they would feel they would have the required foundation whereby that wouldn't be much of an issue for them. Someone that was I want to raise someone that was to be able to stand on their own and like if a bully comes to you, you know what to do. You get so I don't think I'll think about that because you can be bullied pretty much anywhere, my opinion. I really don't think that would be what I'll be looking at when I'm looking for a school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So
they rank it already.
Yeah, you ranked already.
Oh, I was gonna say. I was gonna
Martin
say-
can just give his ranking, you know, or what you would consider important to you when choosing a school for your future young ones.
When I had my child, the most important thing to me would be going back to the pseudo of, at least for my own aspect, because choosing the right spouse is another thing that's important. So, and hopefully, and this is why you have balance, where like in a place where you need to cure things like stupid thing like feminism and all this dumb ignorant stuff, because I'll be looking for someone that complements things that I know that, okay, this is what I have to offer my child, as to not just currency. I'm talking about equipping your child for the world, truly. Because the first base of education for my child, the first base of, and let me just education. And education means knowing things, you know, being able to understand so many facets of things, educating yourself and being knowledgeable.
So you're saying number one would be picking a school that has that same level.
No.
Okay.
Number one would be me and my spouse being the first base of education for my child.
Right.
Being the first, and education, be it spirituality, be it academia, be it what's it called, society, etiquette, all of those things. I am the first structure of it. Now, any school system that I'm picking for my child, one would be to a place like you said, you know, to some of the things that our folks do, which is, you know, for their purpose, maybe if we say scavenging is what has been paramount, then even subconsciously they won't know they are choosing the best things to help their child become the best scavenger. Like for example, in the normal African community, the parents would want to pick where their child can become the best doctor, the best this, the best accountant, the best that. It's just the tool to help them scavenge better, to be able to go into the space of what the other race has taken away from them. Because the other race has become their god in that space. They have told them this is what it's supposed to be like, and they've created all the workspace. So all our parents are doing is equipping us with the best tools to be able to fit into those spaces. While I want to break that cycle, I want my child to be complete. I want him to have a background. Like even for myself as well, one of the reasons why I'm taking my time is because I want to be able to give every level of experience to my child. Now when he becomes older as well too, even during that age of growth, I want to be able to introduce him to work labor, which is what we used to have way back then. Our folks used to have way back then as well too, but I don't know how they let it just go, you know.
There's a farm.
Exactly. It's not just farming, you know, it's so many things. Poetry, you know, using how to use clay, knowing how to do all these kind of things, all the weaving baskets, all these kind of things. But I want to go into the space of agriculture where I can attain those kind of things and, you know, show my kids the rope. So even while they're growing up, to your point now, one of the most important things I want my child's, where I want school to play most impact in my child's life is sports and academia. Sports, academia in the space of not just because they're just going to go and learn, to go and challenge themselves, not go and learn. Challenge. That's what I'm putting in their mind.
That's bit of competitiveness.
Exactly. So now that's why I want them to have sports as well. Sports in the sense that, like, to the point of what you're saying as well. Be a man, be a woman in every level of it. You understand? Where your peers are doing this, I want to be able to show, because I would have been I'm that first coach. So I want to see how you know, it's not like you're just going there. Now, anything your coach cannot give to you, maybe in the level of diagnosis, I am the diagnoser. You understand what I'm trying to say? Because I've implemented myself in my child's life so much that when it all comes around in a circle, I'm always the last stop. That's what I would want to implement in my child's life. I believe that's why I've been taking my time. Because if we have to be true to ourselves. If you don't have so much to offer a child, that your child will go into the world and challenge things, that is one of the tasks of parenting.
That's a very good point. You see, like all those kids that go to schools and they're seen by their teachers as failed projects, maybe problem childs, whatnot. That this one is going to be a thief. That you know, we always had that kid in class that always come last. I'll just say it was just this taught child. It's from home. it's from their home literally. That there's nothing wrong with that child. They probably they probably have like a learning disorder and whatnot, and they've been poorly diagnosed, and then they are left to just keep rotting and keep spoiling and going bad. And we and culturally in our country we just assume that kid is fault, and then we release
We
him
don't
to society.
we don't see the roots of where that
We
spoiliness
release
is
him to
coming from.
society to become a problem to society, which
To
is
society
we,
to deal
we
with.
start from home, and also we have a habit and a cultural thing in us where we believe people are how they are, that, like people are incapable of changing and becoming better. So like kids who are having issues, like
You know that's part of being a scavenger, too.
Yeah.
Making excuses for everything, just so
like
keep moving
how
forward.
he's a bad child, this is a bad child. Like no, why is he a bad child?
child.
Nobody ever does the job of like talking to that child. I don't understand.
Why?
He might be going through like a lot of shit at home, and he comes to school to have a release.
Yeah, that's the only place where you can
Yeah,
find
that's
his
the
space
place
to
I can find
bully, to release.
to bully
yeah.
somebody, to do something, to throw some kind of tantrum.
Mhm.
He's having fun. Probably going through like a lot of pain, whatever is going through in his house. But we just assume the child is bad, and no teacher ever tries to like even connect. You know,
Because it's not their job, really.
it's not their job. Really, it's the parents. A lot of times, the parents not from being teacher, teacher not from being parent.
Yeah, like you can imagine.
Because they blame game.
Like I wonder, in all truthfulness, what is I really want, like schools to start recording. What does a parent-teacher meeting look like? Like what is a parent that doesn't play those parts of things that we have talked about? Go and sit down with the teacher. And what is your report card? You understand what I'm saying? What is the report card that you have that you're using to challenge this teacher's report card? You know what I'm trying to say? But so it's like truly, so our parents just going out there to go and listen to what the teacher has to tell you about your own child, and you're like, oh really? You hear what your teacher is saying about you, Abby?
Well,
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the real value of formal education in the Black community? Is success about degrees, or is informal knowledge like entrepreneurship and street smartness just as important?
Repeat.
Okay, I heard me finish. Say it again. What is the real value of formal education in the Black community? Got the part?
What's the real
Is success
value?
about degrees,
Mhm.
or is informal knowledge like entrepreneurship and street smartness just as important?
I feel like a lot of black people, the majority of the black community probably, I think we see formal education as a means of financial success. I think that degree for us serves as the first validation we get from white people, the first validation that we can enter into the workspace and earn money to earn a living. So I believe that formal education serves as a means to earn a check. But especially for black people, I would like it to be something that schools to me should be a place where you get knowledge. Knowledge that could lead you to places, like knowledge that could open your mind out to the vast world, because world is big. At the end of the day, that's why I like the fact that there are actually like institutions where people go to like learn handiwork. You get, especially the primary school, the elementary schools, the secondary school, the high schools. This should be places where we go to learn, to gain knowledge and gain ways to be able to like assimilate to society.
Like vocational schools?
Yeah, no, there should be vocational schools for people who just want to go learn trade. Yeah, I think like elementary schools and high schools should be where people learn the ways of our world in order for them to easily assimilate into society. Then, if you want to specialize or to gain like a higher level, you go into like a higher institution like a university. But if you want to make money is your goal, a vocational school, a certification, things like that. But then again, I do feel school can do all that. You can go to school to make money, to get ways to make money, blah 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 blah. But I think we have the bad habit of, because of the, like what you said earlier, trauma. So we see education, especially in Nigeria, as a way out, out of poverty. That degree for us is not really. A lot of people pay their way through school without actually learning anything. To show that to them, what is really important is not the knowledge, is to get that piece of paper, that degree that gives them that license to earn money. That's why there's not really that motivation to specialize, to attain, to get better. Because once you start making that money, why do you care? I don't think. Why do you really care about being the best doctor out there? There's no motivation for that. Because the main reason you went there in the first place is to make money.
Yeah,
That's why.
about the tax bracket space.
Exactly. Our politicians is also for a paycheck. They are trying to make money. Our teachers are trying to make money. Our doctors are trying to make money. The reason why we don't have Messi's and Ronaldo's in football is because they're trying to make money. So what is that motivation when you start making that money to keep getting better? It's not there. So it's a poverty mentality driven thing. Yeah, so
Yeah. To his points, those are very, very eloquent points. Because once you truly misunderstand the value of anything, your purpose will never be true and clear. It's just the same way we carry the biggest fallacy of religion. Why? Because we want to feel the most chosen, not to understand the whole dynamics of the religion. That's why, like to your point, it's just scavengerism. Like, you just keep scavenging, like the space of the degree, to your point, the space of academia is to know things so you can find solution, so you can exercise the brain to help you see multifaceted scenarios in one particular perspective or in any occasion. I lost my train of thought, but to the point of what you were saying, like this degree space, to the point, even the space of academia has been completely destroyed. Like, we're no longer using academia for the purpose of what it is. Like, we still keep championing the space of what the master's philosophy, or the old masters, or the colonial or the slave masters, or the imperial masters, what they want you to function as. Like, you're still thinking, they've told you this degree. But even if they said it, I don't even think it's how they said it. We just fail to truly understand. Go back to the space of parenting that we're talking about. They just fail to truly understand what the idea of having a degree means. Maybe, like, for them, having a degree means you're eloquent enough to speak about this thing. That's what it means. It means you know something about this thing. It's just like it's just like a farmer. When he does anything, why is he good at this? It's because he's put all the practice to work. You can see it, the way he cultivates or harvests his things, or this and the third. It's just the same way it is. But we just want to just cheat the thing that we see in between that space and manipulate it for our own total outcome. And that kind of functionality will never be a prosperous.
Not sustainable.
Yeah.
Oh. I agree.
Because you will never find great innovation. We'll only see one space of innovation, and it speaks to us. Look at it, even let's go back to Nigeria as an example again. I look at these guys. How can one of your friends own a clothing line? And the best thing that you can think about as well is to own a clothing line.
Because they see it as a way to make money.
Why can't you see that, like, oh, it was a clothing line. How about maybe I create a great followership? Like, all I'm doing is creating a place where people can promote their products, or those kind of things. Like, I'm just giving an example of those kind of spaces. Like, like, if that's the thing that you're looking at, if truly, if we're educated enough, we will understand that it shouldn't be do what your friend is doing, but do what will be reasonable, that your friend will find as a resources to add on to his own thing. And that way, you guys can, that's what education is supposed to do. And these degrees, that's what it's supposed to mean. So when someone sits down with you and say, man, I own a clothing line, when they're talking to you, your processing unit is looking for solutions and so many ways to make yourself valuable to the things. That's what those kind of educational system is. But we have destroyed it. We have completely. And but it's not. Sometimes something can be so terrible and some good could come out of it. Like in the sense that, like, shout out to the Nigerians that the one that converted like gallons to liters and all those kind of things, because he's headstrong in one way. He's trying to manipulate that one way. If you understand what I'm trying to say, and certain kind of opportunity can truly come out of it, but it will never be as something where that can foster 10,000 opportunity. Like, you understand what I'm saying? It will never be like a unit that's actually opening up more doors. Is because all that is there is like maybe like all he saw is just a way to get from what that's 12 o'clock to 3. That's all he can see. Whereas in a space, you're supposed to be able to see the whole completion of the totality of it. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, kind of like a fisherman, like, I think we know how to. We don't really build cars from scratch, right? We basically assemble them a lot of times.
Some vehicles is doing a huge level of that value chain. I'm not sure if they do the entire thing like down to steel, but they're doing it.
Well, if you go to companies like Lamborghini, they do that.
Yeah, I know, of course, I was answering this question.
Yeah, because from what I know we mostly assemble. So we're still very much dependent on them. That's why I'm still very happy that we actually are refined, at least, because we're still dependent on the front-facing parts of things. Yeah, so like our like specialists are not really specialists yet. Because of we learn how to.
That's pretty much what I was
fish
trying to say.
and stuff, but we don't really know how to build the fishing rod and everything.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say from my.
So supply chain, we should actually try to hit all the levels of the supply chain.
Yes, we should hit all levels.
We should know more, like we should try to understand.
You understand the whole process. It would have been easier to do that if we went through the full developmental process of getting to where we are now, as opposed to having being dependent on the Westerners for like just taking the guns and showing people. We should have gone to the process where we eventually went from using like bows and arrows and locally made guns to making fully like full armors.
Yeah.
But it was interrupted in a sense because they really made theirs first. And so I think that happened to us in not just in that simple the gun thing, across the board. I think it was an interruption. Even our traditional religion at some point might have evolved to a much more.
There you have it. Exactly.
Religion.
As any religion.
Yeah, as all religions, actually, the Christians did not start as they are today. So we would have ended up being more sophisticated if we had let completely develop. But then our leaders took the first bribe.
Tap 10.
All Eves, man.
Yeah.
You just want the goddamn apple.
Final one for me and we wrap up. What's something you now admire in your parents or elders that you once misunderstood? And how has that shift in perspective shaped the way you now show up for the next generation? But I want this personal. So I don't want like a very generalized people that I've seen. You personally, with your father, your mother, your grandparents, your uncles, your aunties. Something you admire, maybe you once misunderstood, and it's now shaping the way you show up for the next generation. Anyone who already has their pop in their head can go.
For me, I would say it's my mom's ability to always want to buy land. I never used to understand what it was because to everything I was saying, like, we should never forget how strong that characteristic of being a scavenger in us really is, that DNA coding is really strong. So I never used to understand what it was for us to like be so invested in buying land.
Like, will she also take what she was supposed to have used for maybe taking care of the family stuff and be like, I'm copying land? Or were you guys noticing?
Oh, well, I was young, so I can't really, but I know she would never let like her family starve rather than know what. So I don't know. No, but the little that she was able to understand, she always understood this. That's because she was able to understand so many things and she's able to come to her own conclusion that this, I can't miss on this one. So so for me, I never understood it. It's a fuck. This is a woman trying to be a woman, a nigga. So that's just how I used to look at it. But truly, she's a woman being a man, because that's a man's, at least within the area that we grew up and our culture, is a man. Oba no nile. So Oba is a man, so that's how we always look at it. So, but for me, that has been the greatest thing. Like, that to me is almost like, that to me is equivalent to how Christ is to like certain things he implemented with the Jews or with his disciples. That's how strong that is for me.
Yeah, beautiful. I want you to explain, because I know you said the buying land. I actually want you to now explain, because there are multiple ways you can see that. You can see that as financial prosperity. You can see that as growing our own space and dominance. You can see that as using it to then provide crops. What angle?
What great question. That's because she's always understood that when she have the land, it would always appreciate first and foremost. And when you have the land, then you have a space for innovation. So like, like whenever we talk, we have space to just let our brain just go wild. Like, what is anything that we've known, that we understand, and we want to implement? Like, all of these things as to how I want to raise my child. The only reason why I can think that way is because I've been raised with the upbringing of knowing that property and homegrown is mandatory. So my mother showed me this, I took it, and I'm like, oh wow, I could squeeze this and make so much more out of it. That's what I mean. So that's what I mean by now, when I'm, as my family is, as I'm, be it from my father or my mother's, as I'm the head of my family, it's structured in us now that like, this is a commandment. If any of you ever had the opportunity, grandchildren, grandkids, it will be something that will become a thing of legacy for us now, that like always learn to own something that can give more time for the next generation to grow. So it's like whatever Jesus Christ would have told his disciples to like, if you want to be with the Father, do this and do that. It's just exactly how it is. Yeah.
Great answer.
Well,
I can repeat it for you if you want.
It's just something I did not like before.
What is something you now admire in your parents or elders that you once misunderstood? And how has that shift in perspective shaped the way you show up for the next generation?
So one thing that I appreciate a lot today from my dad, for example, was his ability to like save and invest. Because growing up, I didn't really like the fact that maybe he wouldn't always spend like money on us and like buying a bunch of like toys and games and when I was much younger. But my mom would do that more often. Yeah, I didn't really like that. I started being unnecessarily frugal. But at the end of the day, being like a professor, a lecturer, being able to like send me to school over here, despite the fact that we all know what happened with the whole dollar naira thing, but we were still able to send me over here to school with how expensive it was. If he wasn't the kind of man he was, I doubt he would be able to have saved that much money. Okay, so I see the value in that and I appreciate that, because I wouldn't be here today if not for that sacrifice.
Yeah, that's neat, because a lot of professors, how much they spend on these young babes on campus.
Exactly. He was able to do what he did. Shout out to him, actually.
Will you call that foresight or sacrifice? What part of that are you highlighting as something you want to pull for how you show up?
It's both, because not everybody has that would sacrifice their own enjoyment. Like he said, like he could be enjoying like his struggle, he's made money, he's going to where he is in life. Why not actually? So I don't see that as I don't see buying that, but some people, a lot of grown Nigerian men do that. We all see news, we all see how they spend their money. There are a lot of college girls, they could just waste their money or do what they want to do, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, why you could have just done that, and some people's dream is to die in the Punani, you know what I'm saying? And live a happy life and smile. But he saw the importance of like future development. At the end of the day, we are carrying his family name. We are carrying his family name forward. So yes, it's both a sacrifice and foresight. Yes, because at some point he'll get older and die, and he will live on. So why not invest in us and give us an education to be able to prosper?
And are you showing up that exact same way for the next generation, or are you tweaking it anyway Are you applying the same thing?
For that specific thing, of course, I'm going to have to invest properly and make sure I have enough, like, for my kids to get the best quality education on whatever they are going to need. You get me? So yeah, that's one big thing I would say I misunderstood when I was much younger compared to right now.
Okay. You guys give me your final thoughts on black parenting. If there's any question that you would have wanted me to ask, something that was on your chest when you first saw the packet, and you're like, I can't wait to drop this point. This is your floor.
That cultural part, we kind of like dribbled through it. We didn't really talk about it. We didn't talk about like the importance, what's important to you when you send your kid to school, the academies, blah blah blah, the cultural part. Yeah, I don't think neither of us actually talked about that.
Go ahead.
I think I had pointed out before we caught. I was talking about how that might not be as important. It's not even possible here. We need to have like a bigger Nigerian community for there to be like a high school that actually, and even the high school that wouldn't actually know. They
incorporate Nigerian culture into curriculum.
Curriculum in high schools here. Or is that something you would consider sending when you're sending your kid to school?
Is what?
Assuming you send your kid to school here, would you want a school where like African culture is actually incorporated into?
The fuck? Why? I mean, I'm saying like you gotta look.
Yeah, why would you expect that?
You gotta look at it as an American. Like,
Yeah.
No, of course. Yeah. So
Exactly.
because it was part of the things. Because if that was very important to me, then I would probably couldn't.
If you're saying if the African Americans wanted that, it's a different thing. Now, as an African that is migrating, you must be out of your fucking mind. like who the fuck do you think you are? Like you, yeah. But now, if the African Americans were championing it to say, okay, this is something that can give us back, lineage as to, instead of depending on white ancestry.com for you could do your own thing by aligning back to your own. You have the basic education of where you came. Now, it would be one thing, but for an African to be coming into the space now, to the other aspects of where I see where you might be going with it, it's not wrong. And it's same as like for Arabs, you would say Islam is being that thing in America, let it be. It's recognized, even though you might not be a president, but at least you are always, Hinduism, all religion is allowed to be practiced. So for Africans that are coming over here, it will be a way to have been to his question as what do we want, what do we wish they would have done different. I would have looked at that as an opportunity as to how we were migrating heavy and how certain Nigerians started converting gallons to liter. Some Nigerians did this here, did that here, different type of spaces. Now if we were a political race and we're a political group of people, that would have been a smart thing because it gives you power. Even those kind of things that you're talking about makes you very, very prominent during situations like election. Because you would have integrated, it's psychology, yes. That's why I'm looking at it like, what the fuck is, because you might not look at how powerful what you're saying is, but you can only be granted that kind of thing depending on how powerful the group is.
I read there are schools with very, very let's say universities with very, very prominent African Studies associations.
Yes.
That would
And teach African studies as well.
Like actually even teach Yoruba too.
I mean, the Harvards do that.
Yeah,
you have colleges that do that. Yeah, but it's not like they're not gonna teach it in middle school or fucking elementary school.
Well, I'm guessing that your question might be what some people consider when you're like, okay, I want to send my kid to Howard as opposed to sending him to MIT.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess to the point of what you're saying now, we need to do more statistics and see who are truly willing. Like, if we're not scavengers, maybe another thing, maybe our scavengerism has started changing. We need to do a census on how many people actually send their kids to the school.
How many kids will send their kids
to be part of the legacy of something?
Howard as opposed to an MIT, despite the
just to go and learn commerce. So it's more money,
academic excellence.
Well, But to your point of the question of what you were asking, what do I wish I would have loved to? My question would be, was there really truly never any opportunity for the ones that have gone to other spaces of the world, England, America, Russia, any other place that you can think about, black people that have gone and made influence, was there truly never any time that home was the best option? Like fighting for your own thing. I feel like that's one thing I'm truly missing in African history. Like truly. And I feel like that's why we've been a race to play with. Because there's never been that in our story. Like, there's never been a group of people that would go through to see that, like, okay, we stand by this and we stand by this. We've always been easy to be, oh. You mean you don't have to kill 300,000 people and we can converse on it? Let's do it.
Only I can think of is...
That's what I think. At least that's the legacy I feel like
The only thing I can think of is when like Ethiopians and Mussolini also really...
Well, you know what? You are very, very right. I take that back.
That's the only time.
But I mean, that's the least they could do for all that shit that Queen Sheba did, man. Please, I'm sorry. That's the least they could do. So yes, maybe I do take it or don't take it back. Because if you, like, for a lot of black people, they always try to blow some fart in the air talking about, like, we've always been Christian. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, the closest history of Christianity ties to Africa is Queen Sheba and King Solomon. And that's not even Christianity. That's Judaism. So, I don't know. It's just, so I guess what I'm trying to say there is, like, for Queen Sheba doing all that shit that she did, the least Ethiopia can do is make sure they fucked up those Italians. Like, because if you, don't let me stretch it that far. But anyways, yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
But then again, too, though, it would have been interesting to see, like, the Ethiopians, like, you know, like, after that whole war, like, it would have been good to see them be, like, the champion of Africa in the sense that, like, after facing all that oppression, I would think they would be the group that want to learn how to be technology advanced, because they've always been tampered with by, well, not just even just resourceful, but tampered with by Western, like, be it Britain, be it Italy, be it France. They've always used them to play, like, as pawns, like, you know.
You could say what they could do in that situation is just find a way to proxy, connect with another world power that they feel like could give them ammunition and protection.
Why give them? Like, why?
I know, and I'm just saying that lots of countries end up doing that. You know, when you're at a point where...
That's what happened, because that's the only way they were able to fight and this thing. But I'm saying it's never the best solution. It's not. Like all of Africa, no one African...
That success will spur them on to become...
Not one African country can still create a rifle from 1945 that it, like, bro. I'm even saying 1945. 1945 is a fucking stretch. I'm talking about the rifles that the British used to enslave and colonize us. Like 2025, and we haven't no one African country has produced a prototype to do this thing.
I'm curious, that man you met at your work, he said that Nigeria or Africa was cooked or cursed.
Yeah.
Did he tell you?
Oh, you missed it because
why?
We discussed it to the end. You missed it.
Oh, okay. So he told you why he thought it was cursed. Got you.
Yeah, he did.
Got you. And I'll catch you on the recording.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's it, guys. We're the Lugards, and we have given our take on parenting. If you have anything you want to add on, trust me, we're not perfect, but we've taken things that we know, we've put it together, and we'll be able to create this beautiful dialogue. If you think you have otherwise, and you feel like you are more opinionated on certain kind of things, we're very, very open. With our comments on Facebook, where else are we at? We're on TikTok, we're on YouTube, we're on
IG,
X, on X as well. So anywhere you feel like you want to debunk what we're saying, we're very, very
show me
open.
your age, don't show me your age.
And then
So when you say Twitter.
So other than that, we're the Lugards, and we're checking the fuck out.